What's going on, disc golfers? This is a course breakdown of Ellison Park, the front nine, in Rochester, New York. The course is a par 57, 6,237 feet. It is a seasonal course featuring Mach 3 baskets. Some are bent slightly. Hole 1, the hardest hole probably, 381. It's all uphill, basically impossible to birdie. Your goal off the tee is probably to go between these two trees. Some people go to the left by the one tree that is a tree. They're actually all trees, but I digress. A good drive lands somewhere about here. A more powerful arm will get between these trees. The best throws will end up just at this little knoll on the left here, pin high with the bush left. This is a typical approach you're looking at, slightly sloped left to right. Probably a forehand, so it digs in. Wide open green, no rollaway issues. Just get up there, get a par, and be happy you didn't bogey hole 1. Hole 2, way pitched. This is about 225 feet. Common play here is going to be a forehand that digs into the hill, or a putter or mid where you throw kind of toward that one exposed tree there and have the gentle fade match the pitch of the hill that kind of slides up to the basket real nice, just like how I slide into your mom's DMs. Pretty easy hole, especially if you're a lefty or have a forehand. It can be tough to push a putter up there, and you don't want anything higher speed that's going to fade out down the hill because it can go real far real quick. Slight rollaway potential on this green, but not too bad. One of the easier holes. Hole 3, just under 300 feet, downhill, kind of a touchy shot. It seems easy because the basket's right there in front of you, but it is not. You'll see how much the hill pitches left. If you hyzer out early, you end up by these two sycamores, you're kind of in jail. You grip lock into the right into the woods, and that kind of stinks. If you peer the gap, but you go too flippy, you end up in cattail corner over there in the right of the screen. A good drive penetrates right about here, starts to have a gentle fade, just like the flight of the drone, and slides right up to the basket. Most common mistake, you'll put you by those pine trees about the edge of circle 2. Hit the shot, easy birdie, kind of close, easy par. Just don't shank it. Hole 4, straight uphill. You do not want to pull it into the wooded area right, because then you're just pretty much screwed. Common plays here. Seems like the forehand is the most common play. Backhand turnover, possible. Either way, you're trying to get up the hill and start to penetrate right, but there is a low ceiling. So you're going uphill into a low ceiling. Pretty easy to get a 3 here. I think it's a little bit touchy to get the 2. I think the most common 2 would be like a forehand that just kind of like skips and flares over there. Maybe, I don't really know. I don't really throw forehands. But either way, easy par, a little bit harder for the 2. Hole 5, going back down the hill, 264 feet, according to UDisc. Wide open downhill. Just don't hit the trees right, don't hit the trees left. Common play is a kind of overstable putter or mid out to the left, kind of toward those Christmas trees, and let it crash down. The backhand straight shot's much more difficult. Common mistake is hyzering out early into that tan grass. That's all mud over there. Then you're putting with the mud foot, and no one likes mud foot. So make sure you commit out wide enough. Slight rollaway potential on this green. It doesn't look too sloped, but it actually is kind of sloped. I've had lots of rollaways here personally, but easy 2, probably the second easiest hole in the course. Hole 6, 599 par 4. Big mistake here is to grip lock it into the woods or to go too flippy and turn it over into the woods. If you go in the woods early in this hole, you are screwed. Double bogey land all day. Some forehand players can go out left wide of that tree on the left, but most people are going to go straight up to the gut. For a lower power player, you want to stay on this hill we're on. You don't want to go left. You want to put it up right about here. A better drive is going to push this low ceiling approach and get up about here is pretty nice. Watch out for the bush left and right. Really good drives crest this hill, like over the top of the hill. Once you get past the hill, you're kind of like pick your lane. But the same problem from the tee applies here. Do not pull it into the woods. The drone is flying through the widest gap toward the green, so keeping it on the right is a smart play on this hole. As you can see, there's no trees in this section, so you're just kind of throwing an approach. Gentle fade, slide up to the basket. Slight slope behind the basket, but it usually doesn't come into play on this hole. Pretty accessible green. Not the easiest for, but it's super gettable if you have a good tee shot. Hole 7, one of the more wooded holes on this course. It is a straight throw. Right up this tunnel the drone is flying. There is an optional hyzer route just on the right past this 3-pronged tree. But whatever hyzer's there has to come back toward the end. The common play is just the straight landing mid or the straight landing putter. You can go forehand, and the fairway affords a little bit of a flex. If you end up right, this pine tree blocks off any putt. You end up left, you're okay. Don't go long, you slide right down the hill, and pretty quickly you're 65 feet away. Good 2 to get. 7 is like 8, but 8 is like the big brother. 8 is 357 feet, as UDisc claims, and it's a similar tunnel shot. You want something that's going to go straight and penetrate. This one, the big miss is hitting any of these trees, but if you do center it, you don't want to push the ceiling. You want to keep it low and driving and penetrating. A lot of my drives hit that tree right there with no bark, and a little bit of a precarious green. If you go long, it rolls down that hill. Don't crash into the basket. That's a really good 2 to get. Pretty quickly, that hole turns into a bogey. And 9. 9, you have some options. There is a turnover to the left gap. There is a hyzer gap on the right, the wider gap. Both work. The hole is slightly uphill and 270, requiring a little more power than you think you need, but still pretty wide open. Problem is, if you hyzer out in the turnover, you end up by that pine and you're kind of beat. But if you hit the gap, either gap on this hole, you should get into the circle. It's an easy par, a pretty gettable birdie. And that is the front 9 at Ellison Park.